Hey y'all, just wanted to come on here and see how everybody's doing. Also wanted to talk a little bit about Steeler football. Uh, Hoping we make some good signings and staff moves this off season. I don't know what we're going to do or how we're going to do it or what's to come. All I can say is that it'll probably be the same old Steelers. Unless Matt Canada just decides to run a new playbook, hopefully that is the case, and not the same old stuff like jet sweeps, which I can't stand. I also want to say that we need left tackle in the draft or via free agency. Also, bring in a guy who can play left guard because Kevin Dotson ain't it. I seriously don't know what happened to Dotson, but he is not the same as what he started out. But maybe that's how bad our O-line was when he came in. Maybe that's how bad it was. But I think what they need to do is in the draft first pick, they need to get offensive line. Actually, their first two picks, I would go O-line. With their second pick, or third pick, whatever you want to call it, bring in edge depth. I'd like to see them grab Zach Harrison, edge rusher out of Ohio State. He's pretty solid. And I think that it would help get depth behind TJ Watt. But I would actually get two depth guys at that position. Which in my recent draft poll I did, I ended up going with I believe it was a corner out of Washington. I forget his name, but was it Jackson Freeland? I may have just butchered his name, and I'm sure I did, but it was one of those guys. I ended up going with a guy like so many other guys. I'm not really into the other college stuff. I just watch my home college team, but I'm going to start getting into guys that are getting off. That's the wrong thing to say. That's my bad. I'm going to start watching more college football, more than what I do, not just my home team. But hoping that I can at least put content out. And if you guys like the videos, you like what I do on here, hit the thumbs up and subscribe. I'm not into necessarily being a big YouTuber or anything like that. I'm not that type of person. I come on here to make videos you enjoy and have you guys speak your own minds in the comments. Whether it's you like picks or you don't. Of course, keep it respectful in the comments section. Um, I hope to really get more videos out, and I think that will be a big key going forward. But besides the draft, a lot of people are wanting Jordan Addison. I don't think that they should go down that route. At least not right now. Because, you know, Jordan Addison is pretty much another Deontay Johnson, but of course, catches better. I think that he would be a good piece, but I know what everybody originally wants him for is because he played with Kenny Pickett and all this, and look at what Joe Burrow did with Jamar Chase. Yeah, look at what Joe Burrow did with Jamar Chase. They didn't even win the Super Bowl. I believe it was their first year together, they went to the Super Bowl and lost. Why? They didn't have an offensive line. They get an offensive line, but they crumble under the pressure in the Super Bowl. Or, my bad, in the playoffs. In a game they should have actually won easily. Or not won easily, but you get what I mean. That they should win. But again, it's not always that simple. Playoffs is a different breed. It has been for years. I'm a Steelers fan, as it shows on my t-shirt. What else? Oh yeah, Kenny Pickett. Look, if anybody has any doubt about Kenny Pickett whatsoever, then I guess that's just all the haters out there towards him. You have to be so delusional not to think that this guy is not the franchise quarterback Pittsburgh has been looking for years. And keeping in mind, through those years, Pittsburgh has not been very successful in drafting quarterbacks. Even in times, which granted they still had Ben at that point, but Ben was still getting up there in age. 2019, Ben gets an injury. Mason Rudolph comes in, I believe he had 1,000 yards, but still, it really shows the length of what the possibility is with a young team. Now, there's one person I want to bring up that is on Pittsburgh, and he's actually in his rookie year. That is George Pickens. That dude is a freaking dog. He is a fucking dog. I have not seen a player like him since Hines Ward. And why since Hines Ward? He's physical like Hines. He has a similar playing style. Granted, a little bit more better, or similar in traits, but in different ways. Hines is a once in a lifetime talent. If this team, as good as it can be, does not get a Super Bowl, I don't know. What will we have to do? Will we have to change our way of thinking towards the head coach, Mike Tomlin, which I love Coach T, I do. I do believe he can still bring us a Super Bowl. But the fact of the matter is, can he get through the pressure of playoffs. Now, a lot of people say, "Oh well, it's just the Steelers are bad," and "Oh well, they're done after week 2, going 0-2 after or 1-2 with some we lost TJ." I was one of those people that said we were not going to make playoffs, or that we weren't, or no, that Coach Tomlin wasn't going to have, or was going to have a losing record final. He turned that around real quick. And the big thing with the Steelers is you got to be able to get out of your own way. That's one thing Pittsburgh has not been able to do in recent years. And even when we make the playoffs, we still haven't done crap in it. And we can't rely everything on defense. We need to get the offense down the field. And I think we can do that. So, other than that, it's like, what more can you do besides wait? Now, there's a lot of people saying that we could bring in, or not bring in, but trade for Jalen Ramsey. Although I would like that, I'm not sure how that would work. What they would have to give up for Ramsey. Granted, he'd be an upgraded cornerback, definitely. We all know how he plays. He's physical. He can get interceptions, knock away the pass, stay with receivers. He's got everything you want. But how much would you be willing to give up, and what about the character trait of his personality? What kind of personality is he going to bring? Is he going to be a locker room cancer? Or is he going to be a leader? That's the question. Now, granted, he has shown that he is a leader and that he can handle a lot. He's shown that in Jacksonville. He even showed that when he got traded, or no, I think it was free agency or something like that. Went to the Rams. He's won a Super Bowl there, but I'm not the type of person that says, well, he's got a Super Bowl. Just, oh, well, he's going to come in, he's going to win a Super Bowl. That's not what I'm saying. We need somebody who can be a leader, can get this team amped up, and back to the way Steelers corners, because he's a cornerback, who can really speak towards these guys and be a leader. Be that voice to be heard in the locker room. Not just the coach, but players too. I honestly believe in my heart that Pittsburgh, one of these years, will end up winning the Super Bowl. Now, as far as coaching goes, I don't know. Will Matt Canada be back next season? I hope not. But again, maybe he changes my mind. I hope he proves me wrong, but so far, he has not proven any Steeler fan wrong, including myself. I'm nobody to impress, but this team has not been to the playoffs. Well, they went to the playoffs in 2021, but haven't won a playoff game, I believe, since 2016, 2017, something like that. Around that time period. But, again, what can they do? What can they change to make things better. A team that in corners did not once do good anything. I believe the Steelers led in interceptions as a defense in every category of that aspect. And I'll say one thing, there's another player that I really like, and it's the honest truth, is Damontae Kazee. When he needed to fill in, he filled a hole when Terrell Edmunds got hurt. He filled in that role, got an interception, which it feels crazy to say that a Steelers strong safety got an interception because it doesn't happen anymore. I like Terrell Edmunds. I do believe they should bring him back, but even if they let him go, I think Kazee has shown that he can be a starter still. He's physical. He's got an eye for the ball. He's not afraid to go up and just knock your lights out, which he's proven, but before he got injured. But still, he didn't change the way he plays, and that's what I like. Him being next to Minkah is a very good complementary piece, or even especially coming off the bench. It's just how it is with that situation. He was solid. He was a solid piece. Another topic is another one that I really like. Another rookie is Jaylen Warren. I should have brought him up first, but again, George Pickens. Listen, Jaylen Warren is fast, physical. That's something that we have missed for years. I'm pretty sure since Parker. But anyway, he's physical. He still pushes for yardage. He had a couple of fumbles, but again, he fell on the fumbles every time. But when he sees a hole, the reason I like him is when he sees a hole open up that the offense gives him, he takes it and runs down the field. Will this line be able to hold up? I don't know. That's a question that'll always be answered. I hope eventually everything balances out for Pittsburgh on both offense and defense. But for the past couple years, that just has not been the case. I don't know what they're doing, why it takes so long, but again, in due time, they did get better. In the second half of the season, they were better. They were a different Steeler team. Still a lot of the same stuff, going 3 and outs and stuff, and coming back in late quarters, which needs to be fixed. Matt Canada needs to get that shit put together. Get these guys a good game plan and get them in open space. Create routes that they will be comfortable with and keep the defense guessing. Keep the opposing defense guessing. Because once they lost to the Ravens their first game, with Kenny going out with a concussion, he comes back and versus Ravens throws a game-winning touchdown. It just putting the team on his back. That's a leader. I love it. He's just that dude that can put you in those type of situations, and he's not afraid of it. He's not afraid of the pressure. Also, being a film junkie, he's always in the film room. In fact, if I remember correctly, even during the off season, he's watching film every time, even before anybody gets there. That is awesome. That's great to see because it shows you that he wants this. He wants it. Now, granted, hopefully none of this stuff backfires. Hope he has a good career. And I hope that he ends it with a Super Bowl coming back to Pittsburgh. I'm not from Pittsburgh. I'll never pretend to be. I'm actually from a little town called Barboursville, West Virginia. And I love Pittsburgh. Die hard, love Pittsburgh. My mom made sure I was a Pittsburgh fan through and through. But again, will they be able to handle the pressure? You need to be able to handle teams like the Bills, like the Chiefs, like the 49ers, which just so happens in our next season schedule in 2020, well, yeah, going into the new season, I'm pretty sure the Niners are one of the teams we face. You can't underestimate them. Look at who they got as a running back, Christian McCaffrey. And ever since he was traded from the Panthers to the Niners, he was going off. And I think that's something they got to watch because that's going to be one of their biggest weapons. They got every weapon at their disposal. But the thing with the 49ers is there's times where they'll be inconsistent going down the final stretch. Not a lot of the time, or not through most of the times, but sometimes. You need to get pressure on the quarterback. Stop the running game. Take out the passing game. If you can do both those things, which is easier said than done, it's easy for me to sit on the other side of this camera and say, hey, you should be able to stop this and that. It's easy for me to say. But again, you got to be able to limit the opposing offense, forcing 3 and outs. But they've got to be able to get rest as well to get re-energized so they can get back out there. The offense needs to go down and score touchdowns. Because if the offense does, that can even mess with the defense's head a little bit. So what more can somebody do? That's in their mind, like, what more do we have to do to put this game away? Now, I'll always have faith in this team, but at times during this season, they just show that laziness, like they don't want to gel together, and then when they finally do, it was at the ending point of the season, which ultimately made us rely on the Jets of all teams to send us to playoffs. The Bills did their part, the Jets just didn't do theirs. And another thing is, a lot of people said Deshaun Watson coming to the Browns was going to be big and that it was going to be hard for teams to beat him. Yes, they did say that, but again, you gave up a lot for him. And the way this coaching staff is, I don't see it getting any better. I don't see him being that different. Now he's more athletic, more quick than most of the other guys. But at the end of the day, does anybody really think that he's going to bring a Super Bowl to the Browns? Something they haven't done since Jim Brown in the 50s. That's pretty abysmal. And just to point out, in that game, in that final game of the season versus the Browns, that shouldn't have been a flag or a flag for unnecessary roughness on the quarterback when it was a basic sack by Cam Hayward. And then, and even before that, go back to the second game versus the Ravens. He tackles the player. And what does the Ravens player do? He pulls Cam down to make it look like he won't get off of him. So instead of the referees re-looking at it and looking at it closely, it kind of went like, okay, there's not enough here to overrule that. And let me known, being a Ravens fan, or I'm not a Ravens fan, I'm a Steelers fan, sorry about that, but Ravens fans are like, oh yeah, he did that. Some Ravens fans, I'm not saying all of them, but again, you see in the highlights, they don't show the replays at all. Hardly at that. So my question will be, how in the world would you get a flag out of that, or unnecessary roughness? And these are basic tackles, basic sack plays that Cam does on a daily. How in the world do these refs get away with this shit? I'm just... I know it's been like, what, maybe a month since that? Maybe longer now? I just think that it's selfish of the refs to do that. Like, there's calls that were made that shouldn't have been made. But the Steelers didn't help matters anymore in the fact that you have a quarterback that is a rookie, and him playing in the system that he is, just pretty much getting set up for failure. So my question would be that everybody says, hey, don't mess up don't fire Canada, don't mess up the scheme, and the communication that Canada and Pickett are building. It's not just Canada and Pickett. It's got to be every player on that team, on offense at least, to be able to trust Canada. And if they honestly sit there and think that it's going to change, and maybe it does. Again, like I said earlier, anything can happen. Maybe we go a different route on this play calling. But also, there's times where Mike Tomlin should have called for challenges, which he did not. And that's not a good thing. He should have called a challenge play on the catch that Pickens did in one of his games. But still, Pickens is Pickens. He's got that dog in him. And also found out everybody took X-rays of players like Jaylen Warren and found out he's got that dog in him too. So hopefully during these time range of whatever Pittsburgh does in the offseason, I can't predict anything. I'm not that type of person. Hopefully we end up making some big moves, but again, I'm not banking on it. I don't think you necessarily have to make bigger moves to win a Super Bowl. It's been proven before. You don't need the biggest signings in the world to win Super Bowls. But you need the mentality, the strength mentality of wanting to play, wanting to win. So if you don't have any of that, you ain't gonna do shit. The truth is always quicker. And I can sit there and say that. The truth is always quicker. It's just that simple. So the question being is that what's next? What will the Steelers do? Are they going to be a average team going 9-8? Or are they going to show that they can set the bar versus any team, which they can? They need to clean the shit up. And I think one of the things you need to do is look at gotten big players, like, for instance, the Miami Dolphins. Brung in Tyreek Hill, paired him next to Jaylen Waddle. Look what happened. Ended up being one of the best, if not the best, wide receiver duo in the league, and probably will be for years to come, depending on where the contract stands with Tyreek and Waddle and all that, because a lot can change. I don't know if anybody really thought that he would have left Kansas City, but again, it's whatever happens. He can't change that. And you want that big contract, which Tyreek is very well deserving of. I think it's good to have him in a system that he can feel comfortable in. It doesn't have to be the one always being relied on to make these big catches every play, every down. I think it's good that you got a guy like Jaylen Waddle. I think it's good you got a guy like Mike Gesicki. and so many of the other guys. I can't really say the other dudes. Now, I don't know the other wide receiver because he didn't really get targets that much. But if you're wondering why I'm bringing it up, I was also a Miami Dolphins fan. So yeah, if it isn't Pittsburgh win, I want the Dolphins to win. And I think that they can do that, and they've showed it. It's like a few years ago, or like a year or so ago, 2021, Super Bowl, LA Rams versus Cincinnati Bengals. I sat there and told my folks, I said, listen. Well, actually, I told my cousin and my aunt. I said, listen, don't piss off. You don't piss off Aaron Donald because he will destroy you in a heartbeat. I said these were my exact words. If you piss off Aaron Donald, he's going to come in and he's going to absolutely change the game. In which he has for the past couple of years. He's been the defensive player of the year votes, even man of the year. So just to prove my point, what ended up happening, Joe Burrow talked shit to Aaron Donald, which is something you don't do, and it ended up being a LA win. I said on the first goal line stand that the Bengals had, I said Cooper Kupp was going to score a touchdown. What ended up happening? Cooper Kupp, touchdown. I said that Aaron Donald was going to absolutely demolish them at some point in that game. He ended up waking up. Actually, thanks to Joe Burrow, he ended up waking up the beast inside of Aaron Donald, and that was it. I don't give a damn if Jamar Chase was open downfield. I don't even give a damn that Jamar Chase is on Cincinnati. I don't like the Cincinnati Bengals. I hate them. Absolutely hate them. I'll take it to my grave. I do not like that franchise. They've shown time and time again that how the ugly side of them come out. But again, it's a rivalry. It's been a rivalry for years. Years and years and years. But another thing is, people see Joe Burrow as this savior. As the savior of the Bengals franchise. There's been so many good quarterbacks that the Bengals have had, never won a Super Bowl. I even went to go look it up to make sure I was right. The Bengals don't have a Super Bowl. The Bills don't even have a Super Bowl. The Texans don't have one. Let that sink in. Even the Browns have a Super Bowl win over the Bengals. But again, like the 50s when Jim Brown was there, but still, that's still a Super Bowl win. That is still a Super Bowl win. But let me know, would you guys like me to talk more about this stuff, or bring up something different about other things like, hey, speak on basketball and stuff, which I will do. Speaking of that, the Bulls just got Patrick Beverly, a defensive guy, a really good defensive guy. Hopefully he does good. The story begins now that he's a hometown native of Chicago. I can't wait to see what he does, and it's going to continue to get even better. I hope it gets better. I hope this is what they need to wake up and smell the roses and think, we can do this. We just needed somebody to come in and change the complexion of a game. Not just a game, but as a mindset. He tells them the way it is. This is what you should have, like, for instance, in one video, he said, Zach, this is what you're not doing. You need to not pass it. You need to shoot it. And there's a lot of times where Zach has passed it off when he shouldn't. Most of the time, Zach should be taking shots. And I think getting a veteran like Patrick Beverly in there will really open up the door for the young guys on the team. He'll tell you exactly how it is. Truth is always quicker. But he makes you better, if that makes any sense. He'll tell you what you're doing wrong to make you better, and showing you exactly the potential that you have, the potential of this team. This team can be championship bound. It can be. It can be a championship team. And it's proven before that it has. Which, of course, that's one Lonzo was on the team. Which everybody's saying, hey, Lonzo's a bust. Y'all motherfuckers are the same ones that said that he was a terrible signing. I didn't say he was a terrible signing. I just said, let's see what happens. Immediately, their first game together in the regular season, I believe they ended up winning. But again, I think it was versus Miami. Actually, no, I think that was a loss. But still, after that, they were climbing the standings. They were even at number one at one point. But when Lonzo got hurt, everything went to crap. Lonzo is still dealing with his knee injury. Look at what happened to the Bulls now. Look at where they're at. So hopefully a leader that can push this team in the right direction, like Patrick Beverly, hopefully he brings that to the team and says, listen, this is what you need to do. This is what the fuck you need to do if you want to get to that spot. I hope that that's what he brings. I hope that he's right and we do go to playoffs. And according to him, he wants to eliminate the Lakers from playoffs altogether. So yeah, this is going to be fun. This is going to be a fun thing to watch. Very interesting. Because we do one thing that with a good leader and somebody who likes to get better as he gets on, that's the Chicago Bulls. Get better as you go on. Don't settle for what you got right now. Continue to push. Continue to push. Don't wait for somebody else to sit there and say, hey, we're going to beat the Chicago Bulls. No, put the fear into them. Make them have to work for it. Don't just get a lead when you're up 21, which they've had a few times, and all of them were blown. No excuses there. You need to do better. Need to get better at what you're doing. If you don't have that mentality to want to win, and you just want all this big contract that's guaranteed money, if that's all you care about, it's like, get the fuck out. You come here to win championships, not to play the freaking $1 million man game. But also understand where they're coming from. They got a family to provide for. These guys got families that they need to take care of, providing and all of that. I completely respect that. But I also respect on another thing is that you come here to play ball. You don't come here to dilly-dally. If Zach wants to prove that he's worth that millions of dollars, I believe, what was it, like 2-point-some million dollars? I might be completely wrong. Was it 125 million? 200 something? I'm not sure, but anyway, he's got superstar money. He got the bag that he wanted. I understand he's got a new born at taking care of, and keeping him up. So, still, I think giving him this year to really get past, but if he ends up playing like this in the next season, I don't think that it was worth it. You kind of have that theory in your head that give it time, but if he doesn't improve the next season, where's the money worth? It just ain't there. And I believe Zach can be that guy, but he has got to show. He's got to be consistent on his jump shot. That's one thing he's got to work on, especially, this ain't even a spoiler anymore, his defense. He needs to work on it. In fact, a lot of the guys have to work on their defense. But again, that's why you bring in a guy like Patrick Beverley to help you work on stuff like that. Help you be more aggressive. Make you want to win. Give you that mentality. Give you that chance to prove yourself. Again, I'm hoping to be making way more videos than what I have done in the last year or two. And I'm hoping to become a YouTuber and just have fun with it. Just have fun. Enjoy life. Live your day like it's your last. Live every day like nothing can happen, which I don't really look at like that, but I try to give off pieces of positivity, and here's the positivity. Don't let anybody tell you that you can't do something. If you have a dream, you can live it. Don't let anybody change who you are and who you think you're going to be. There's only one you. What do you love to do? Don't listen to the naysayers out there that say you can't be this, you can't be that. Don't listen to it. Let go in one ear, out the other. Just walk it live your life the way you want to live it. That is a choice. That is a choice that you are given. Don't let anybody tell you that you can't do anything. I was told the exact same thing. I was told I was never going to be anything. That I wasn't going to be able to get a job or any of that, or that I'll just be a loser. Well, my uncle's gonna be pretty harsh motherfuckers to say that. But again, I don't listen to that. I try to impress them. There's nothing to impress, just move on. Live your life. Live life to the very end, because our days are limited on this. Who knows where we're gonna go? I live life happy go lucky. That's me. That's how I live. And that's the way you should live too. Happy go lucky. I treat people the way I want to be treated. I get to know people before ever deciding to say, hey. Well, I get to know people instead of coming to conclusions and saying, oh, well, you're just this and that. I could easily be one of these motherfuckers on here that does this for fame and clout. I'm not. I come on here to speak my mind and to give you guys good content. I want to be a good content creator. In due time, I will be a good content creator. I'll be working on it. Don't know when, don't know how long, but I will eventually put more content out. I'm hoping to go live for the draft. See who the Steelers get. And hopefully that ends up happening. I've said this time and time again. I know. But it would be fun. I think that a live would be fun to do. And, I'm really starting to push myself to put videos out. I can't be afraid forever. I can't be afraid of what other people are going to think about my videos. That's the exciting part. There's going to be people that like my videos and people that don't. People that do, people that don't. It's just what it is. Some people will like it, some people won't, and that's fine. I love it. If everybody had agreed of liking my videos, or liking anybody's videos for that matter, where would other people be? Where would they have been if they had just stopped and said, I can't do this. I'm not this YouTuber. I can't be a big YouTuber. I don't want to be a big YouTuber. I want to be a YouTuber that people enjoy and that want to hear what I got to say. And that's just it. Like, I love life. I love being able to do my own thing. I go and have fun with my friends. Live every life to the fullest, because you really don't know when it's going to be your last. If you have something you see and you know you can afford it, keep in mind, if you can afford it, get that, because you don't know if that's going to be your last chance. If you have a dream, go out and grab it. Grab the bull by the horns and absolutely pull that bull down and live your dream. Keep your head held high and keep pushing. I don't know why a lot of people say keep your head held low and keep your head high and keep a positive attitude. Your life is worth so much more to a lot of people out there who I hope this relates to. I hope that you get good feelings towards my videos. I want to be a positive person because your life is worth more. Don't listen to somebody who, and I'm sure there's people that have gotten beat up and wonder why do I continue this? You're worth more than that. Those people that pick on you are going to be the people that don't fucking see the opportunities that you have, the opportunities that you are granted. I'm letting God lead me on my path. I don't know what it is, but that's the fun part. You are so much more worth than what you give yourself credit. Don't let the negative hit you. Give that positive. There's a lot of people that end up with depression, and it's a disease. It sucks. I went through depression. It it sucked, but I had to grab it by the horns and keep going and remove that depression. You're worth so much more than that. I used to have seizures. God blessed me and removed them. That let me know that at the time I didn't know I didn't know much about God. Which of course it wasn't really brought up around my family, in my household. But I said one day, God, if you are real, please take my seizures away. One day I went and got a CAT scan, and a little thing, like a little black dot on my brain, hard to believe, that amplifies electricity, just ain't active no more. The doctor said they could not explain it, but I knew from their point that my life was worth way more, and God gave me that sign. I'm not trying to push that narrative towards anybody. I'm trying to give you positivity. Positive stuff always works. Now, if there's some people that take that advice and the depression is just too much, I'm not going to judge you on that. That right there is a part of the disease. You're worth so much more. The positivity that I want to give out to people is endless. But anyway, keep your head up. Keep pushing yourself to do better. And keep the grind going. Don't let anybody say that you can't do anything, because you can. You can. Keep it up and keep fighting. And always put God first in your life. My narratives, God first. My family, I already got my family here. That's all I need. But keep the positive. Look at the positive. I hope that at the end of this video it really helped you. And just want to let you know that God loves you, and keep pushing. There's a reason why you're still on this earth, for a reason. Keep it up. And as always, keep God first, and peace.